The process of pulling a good shot of espresso involves grappling with an overlapping matrix of countless different variables and trying to control as many as you can. Dose, distribution, grind size, extraction time, there's a lot to think about. Particularly when you're new to espresso, it's easy to see one thing that seems off and then start to worry about how many variables you've flubbed along the way. One of these unsettling omens that we often hear from our customers about is the dreaded soggy puck. Today, let's look at what causes soggy pucks, how much you should be worried about them, spoilers, probably not that much, and lastly, what we can do to avoid them in the first place. There are a few different factors that contribute to a soggy puck, but one of them that I'll touch on very briefly since it doesn't apply to any of the machines that we offer is using a machine without a dedicated group head solenoid. A solenoid is essentially a little mechanical gate. When you start your shot, that gate opens to allow water through the group head, and when you stop your shot, it closes, preventing any more water from coming through. Machines without a group head solenoid will simply continue allowing water into the group head until the pressure within the machine equalizes. This means that at the end of your shot, extra water is being dumped on top of your puck, and when you pull out your portafilter, you're bound to find it sloshing around on top. This is simply to be expected with machines that don't have a dedicated group solenoid, but if you want to avoid this issue and the messy knockouts that sometimes come along with it, getting a machine with a solenoid will solve this problem entirely. The second and by far most common cause of soggy puck syndrome is underdosing. Almost every basket will have a recommended dose, usually etched right on the side in grams. This is generally close to the maximum amount of coffee the basket can hold while still fitting into the group head, and importantly, this is how much coffee the basket wants in order to function optimally. Once it's in the machine, having the top of your puck closer to the group head's shower screen ensures that water will flow more evenly and consistently through your puck during extraction. If you underdose by, say, putting 14 grams in a 20-gram basket, you're leaving a ton of headspace between the puck and the shower screen. When you stop your shot, this space will be full of extra water that no longer has the pressure behind it to get through the grounds, leaving you with a super sloppy puck. This kind of soggy puck is actually a bad omen, but it's not so much the sogginess itself that we're worried about. That headspace above your puck can make issues like channeling and uneven extraction significantly worse. To avoid this, simply stay near the recommended dose for your basket of choice and enjoy tastier shots and a cleaner bar. Another cause of slightly soggy pucks could be your espresso recipe. If you're a fan of dark roasts and concentrated 1-to-1 ristretto shots, you know, the way the Italians intended, then you could unknowingly be setting yourself up for some soggy pucks. This one is simple and it builds on something you already know. Grinding finer makes it more difficult for water to pass through your grounds. Normally, when you stop your shot, the little bit of water remaining in the basket will likely be absorbed into the puck, disappearing into obscurity. Once you grind fine enough, that remaining water just doesn't have enough force behind it to soak into this super fine puck, so it'll just sit on top. The intensity of this effect can vary, but don't let it keep you away from that traditional espresso experience. It's mostly unavoidable, and it isn't indicative of anything wrong with your technique or your coffee. Lastly, your choice of coffee could also affect your puck's sogginess. This one is a little harder to nail down just because there's so much variation in moisture content and density between different coffee beans, both of which can affect your puck. The thing to keep in mind is that because of those variations in density, the same dose of coffee can take up a different volume in your portafilter. If you had dry pucks and then switched to a lighter roast only to find yourself in soggy puck central, part of the issue could be that this denser coffee is leaving more headspace at the same weight. Upping your dose a little bit to fill that headspace could get you more consistent results. There's one thing that we haven't touched on yet, and it's something that newer home baristas worried about a soggy puck also forget. How does your espresso taste? Soggy pucks are definitely weird and they can contribute to a mess on your countertop, but at the end of the day, we left that water in the portafilter for a reason. We stopped our shot when we did because we decided all of the good stuff was already in the cup. And anyway, your tongue can tell you so much more about your shot and what you can do to improve it than your puck can. Sometimes a fantastic shot of espresso will occasionally have a soggy puck. You wouldn't judge Michelangelo by the shattered bits of marble he left on the ground, so don't let a soggy puck stop you from enjoying a great shot of espresso. For more espresso experiments, tap subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.